and welcome to Verve Word Podcast for You. I am your host, Cheryl Smith, CEO of Confident Living Solutions, where we help unlock your confidence, your creativity, and your joy. We know that words bring life and or death. We know that words have power. So what we want to do is take those words that we sometimes use negatively and transform them into words that brings life, into words that uplift, inspire, and expand. So tune in to the Live Show podcast. Details are below. Again, I am your host, Cheryl Smith, Confident Living Solutions, where we unlock your confidence, your creativity, and your joy. Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to Verve Word Podcast for You. I am your host, Cheryl Smith. Today we have with us as our co-host, Ms. Ellen McGee. She is the program director for Cluster 2 at Gemini's Head Start and a former educator of 10 years. We have with us our guest, Zaharia Miller, who is a 12th grade scholar in Morton High School, and Marshawn Bradley, who is a 12th grader at Lake Central and a student athlete. Good evening and welcome. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having us. Thank
Oh, yes, definitely. Definitely. So, look, it's hot. It is hot outside. How are you all
Lord.
feeling with this heat?
It is hot. We're trying to stay cool.
Yeah, and I love heat. I love heat because I'm usually
I,
cold. I love heat, but this right here is
this,
hot.
this, I like.
Oh,
Hot. So I got up this morning because I didn't get my clothes ready last night. So I got up this morning trying to decide and figure out what am I going to put on because it's hot outside. If I go out for lunch, I want to be comfortable. If I'm in the building, it's going to be cold because the air, da da da. So I had to decide what I was going to put on and make some decisions of that. So that brings us to the verb word for today is decision making that we do all of the time, all day, every day. We got to make some decisions, one way, form, or another. So I'm just going to throw it out there. What do y'all think about decision making? What do you think it is? What do you think about it?
Well, let's break that word down, Cheryl. Let's break down the word decision. When I think about decision, I think about the parts of speech. Decision is a noun. A decision is the thing that you make. What is the meaning of the word decision? A conclusion or resolution reached after consideration, the action or process of deciding something or resolving the question. So, my question to our youth on this panel: how do you make a decision? How do you problem solve?
You,
you
you
want to
wanna,
go first?
I go first. I'll go first.
All right.
For me, it's difficult because you kind of have to take in consideration some of everything. You got to think about how it's going to affect you, how it's going to affect the people around you, if you got siblings watching you, and if this is going to affect you later in life. Is this a detrimental decision or is it something that's for the time being? Is it short? You got to think about everything, and you kind of gotta, if it fits on your schedule, you gotta nitpick to make a good decision, and if it's a decision for your liking. Can't just make a decision out of thin air. You need to sit down and ask yourself these questions. At least I ask myself these questions. Sometimes I ain't perfect. I don't ask them all the time.
Nobody's perfect. Ain't nobody perfect. We all get it. How do you see it, Marshawn?
For me, I think like when it comes to decision making, I take into account like my priorities and what's gonna make like usually when I was younger, it probably was like what other people wanted me to do, but like it's different times for like different things. It's like
Yes, Lord.
hmm, what I worth. It's like When it comes to like decision making, I tend to put like myself first, or like it's times to like put myself first, and it's times to put other people first. But like where like what puts me in the best like.
Yeah.
He's a great.
Yeah.
I
Because
tip, I
go
typically
ahead.
put other people before me, and to act. And I hate making decisions like that because I hate taking in consideration. Oh, but it's me, and I'm not a me person. I'm a we all, y'all together, family, friends. It's never just a me thing. So to make myself the center of attention and make a decision is always hard for me.
Yeah. Because
I
when
can
we make
understand that.
decisions, it affects everybody. When we make decisions, like you said, it just don't only affect us. And we have to, get the mindset of that every time we make a decision.
We do. And making decisions is a mental process that involves forming opinions and beliefs, which we are influenced by our environment, our education, our biases, our reason, emotions, and memories. And you're absolutely right. When you want to make a decision, you want to look and see if it affects not just you, but others around you. So we have to really think about the decisions and the choices that we make.
Yeah, like when it comes to decision making, sometimes it takes like a lot of self control to make like the right decisions. So like all like you gotta like take other people into accountability, not just for like yourself, but like to make sure that you're a good person overall.
Yeah, because we don't always make the right decision. I mean, that's just life,
It
in
is.
general. And we're still, even as adults, we're still learning, how to make the right decision. And it's, when we make wrong decisions, and we have, and we will, we have to still learn how to embrace that and turn it around for our good. Learn from it. That's what happens when we make, poor choices, poor decisions. We're supposed to learn from it.
Absolutely.
And when we make decisions, actually we're kind of take risks because we don't know what the outcome is going to be. We're hoping for a good outcome. We're hoping for the best, and intentionally we should be doing that, but we don't know what it is, so we're actually taking a risk hoping for
A good
success.
Absolutely. And I want the young people on the panel and everybody else to realize, though, even though we make decisions and sometimes our decision wasn't the best decision, I don't want us to beat ourselves up for that because out of those decisions that we make is growth, right? So we have to learn from the mistakes or the choices that we choose. And so we have testimonies to share with other people that we can improve based on the decision that we made, right?
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
I,
And we just have go ahead, sorry.
I said I agree with that 100%. I'm
Go
one of
ahead.
those people where if I make a mistake and I don't like the mistake I made, because I'm not the type of person, I don't like being wrong. I don't like people being mad at me. I don't like being reprimanded. I don't like any of it. So it really weighed down on me. But when you make a bad decision, you still have to come to terms with yourself. Like, okay, you did it. It wasn't the smartest. How do we overcome it? What's our next steps? How can we do better? Everything is still coming back to a decision, and you still are put at the precipice to either make another bad decision or a good one.
Absolutely. I try to follow a model, as I've gotten older. One of the things I try to do is review and evaluate the problem or the situation. Then I try to discuss and identify how I'm going to resolve this problem with the solution. Then I select among that problem to see if these solutions are going to work out. Then I follow up and evaluate my plan. And if my solution or decision I made didn't make sense or it didn't work, then I reflect on what I want to do different.
Yeah, I agree. Like sometimes I oftentimes like I'll feel bad about something like that I've done. I'll be like, dang, I made the wrong decision. But like one decision, like it really doesn't define you. You just gotta like it's like the cumulative like it's cumulative over like all your decisions, like the person you are.
Exactly.
I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And there's a lot of things, like I said, that affects our decision. What do you guys think about the culture, the popular culture now? There's so many things
Oh,
that's happening,
oh
things
my.
that push our buttons and stuff of that nature to make us, because sometimes we make decisions because we just don't stop and think. Sometimes we make decisions because it seems like it's the fun thing to do or fun at that time. Sometimes we make decisions because we're bored and peer pressures. We don't consider the consequences. So how do you, or sometimes, when I was a kid, sometimes we do things to get back at our parents, which are, those are very poor decision making things. But as youth, we do that or have done it. I don't know if you all have, but I, have done that. So I know, plays a big part in that. What do you guys think about, what's going on? Because those are some hot buttons that kind of make you, make rash decisions. We don't think about the consequences sometimes.
Culture definitely influences way more than I think kids and teenagers probably give credit for. You look, you got social media, and it's like, ooh, she got that on, and I want to do my hair like that, and she got those shoes, and I want those shoes, and you kind of, and when you sit down, it's like, did I really even like that? Is that just a decision I was making just because I saw it? I didn't take in consideration, like, oh, how can I be different? I'm thinking, well, what's popular? I made a decision to be popular and not to be different. It's like school. You either got the decision to help that kid that's getting bullied, or you got the decision to sit there and just look. So
Yeah.
a lot of that, it takes its place.
Right. And everything, and situations are different. So some decisions don't cause, it takes different measures for different things, you
Exactly.
know. And so we do have to, just like this morning, you all got up, just like I did this morning, what are you going to wear to school? What are you going to do? We got to make all those decisions. Some of them are quick and some of them are, we have to think about it, and they have consequences. There's long-term consequences and short-term consequences, that we make.
Absolutely.
So when did your parents, or I mean, do you still value your parents' decision? Like I said, we know that peer influence our decision. We know that, like I said, culture and the media and all that stuff. Do you all still value your parents' decision? And then I'm going to ask, at what age did your parents start letting you make some of your own decisions? Because you have to be responsible to actually make decisions.
You can take
You
it.
you
You
want
can
me to
take
take?
it. Yeah, you can take it.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I value my mom's decisions. Like I value my mom's decisions a lot. I'm gonna be honest. Like when I was younger, like everything she said like hit my heart. But like how do I put this? Okay, so like my mom, like she's a big part of my life now. So like we speak about everything. Like anything, I'll ask her advice for. So like if it's something going on like personal, like I'll ask her for her advice. She's not really a judgmental person, and like we always are like talking about things, like little things. And when she started making my own decisions, like letting me, it was probably when I was like 15, but it's like a gradual thing. Like I wasn't just like making like big decisions at 15. It was like little things.
That's good. Your mom sounds like she gave you the opportunity to build trust and you respect her guidance and her leadership. And that's important. I'll be honest with you all, at the age of 47, I still value my parents' guidance and decisions that they help me make. A lot of times, you need someone to talk to see if you're heading in the right direction. And even though I'm grown and I have my own family, I still want to listen to my parents because they're a little more seasoned than I am. They live this life longer, and I respect and value their opinion.
And you said the key word, and you all said it about talking to others. We have to make sure, if we're talking outside of our parents and helping us make decisions, that they are trusted adults. Everybody don't always have your best interest at heart.
Absolutely.
When making decisions, and people can play on that if given the opportunity. So we've got to be very careful because we always sometimes ask people. When we're trying to make a decision, we try to go to other people and ask them so what they think, to try to give us a landscape of helping us to make the decision that we're trying to make. So we got to be very careful in who we seek out, asking for advice and stuff like that, and helping us make decisions.
Yep.
Because we will it's a decision making. It's trial and error, and it's an ever learning process. We will continue to make good decisions, make bad decisions. Like, so we just got to grow from it and learn to improve from it, because we will continue to make a decision. Do you all ever have decision burnout? This decision fatigue?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even as a parent, at times when you want your children to make the best choice and decision, you try to give them autonomy to make those choices and decisions. Let's talk about what you said just a few minutes ago, Miss Cheryl, when you talked about we had to make a decision what to wear to work or what to wear to school. Well, we know if we prepare the day before, that means we have a little more time to sleep, and then we can get up and we'll be on
Exactly.
time for school.
Exactly. 'Cause
But
I've
we
been
don't do
running
that.
kind of late. Yeah.
We don't
Trying to
do that.
figure it out.
We choose to wait till the morning to make all the choices, and we still don't have an idea of what we're going to wear or what we want to do. So
Yeah.
it is so important that we try to prepare ahead of time so we don't make bad choices and decisions.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's not only on getting ready for work. That's everything. We got to try to, there's a process to making decisions. We got to identify it. Go ahead.
Wow, my daddy get on me about that last night. So, up the night before, you won't have to worry about it. You won't have to wake up at 5:30 in the morning to do your hair and wash your face the right way. And if you do stuff the night before. But it's like, I think it's good. As much as when I tell y'all, when he be saying that, I be looking at him like, oh yeah, like I'm still finna wait till the morning. You ain't gotta worry about it. I'm waiting till the morning. But that's just, you gotta take it. And I think that's what happens when your parents give you the advice on how to make a good decision in that moment. You be thinking, I know what I'm doing. I know. Y'all gotta tell me. I got it. And then it come and it hits you, and it's like, I do not got it. I just thought about what they were saying a little bit earlier. I should have thought about this a little bit harder. And like how y'all were saying earlier, you need to listen to your parents and choose a trusted adult and who you go to and who you pick to ask about your decisions. I got two parents, complete opposites. Complete opposites. My daddy, he's actually gonna think about it. He gonna take it into consideration. He gonna actually try to help me. My mama, complete opposite. No, I think that's dumb. Why would you do that? And that was okay. And no, I don't know. You too smart to be thinking like that. Why would you even do that? That's out of no. That don't do that no more. Complete. She ain't gonna take it into consideration. And I think sometimes as kids or as young adults or youth or however you want to put it, you need that. You need someone who's gonna
Absolutely.
and try to rationalize, and you need someone who's gonna tell you like, hey, that wasn't smart at all.
Yeah, you got the best of both worlds. It's a
Absolutely.
balance. It takes
Yes.
balance. It
It
takes balance.
does. It does takes balance. Opposite attracts. And I'm laughing at you, Zaria, because my husband and I are different, and I'm more of your mom, and my husband is more your dad. And so my kids need that. They need that balance. They need that structure.
But it'd be funny when they switch though. When she asked, and he'd be like, "Oh, that wasn't smart. Like, why would you do that?" Then you'd be feeling like, "Dang."
Do you be confused? That's confusing, huh?
A little bit, because then you'd be like, "Dang, who's right?" Like, who, then my mama, she gets to the point where she like, "Well, if you don't want my opinion, don't bring it to me. If you don't want to know what I got to say. You don't want to hear how what you just did affected you, me, and everybody around you. Don't bring it to me." And sometimes, if you know the decision you made is that bad, you be like, "Yeah, let me just go straight to my room. I ain't even gonna stop ask you about the choice I just made because I know it wasn't smart."
You already know. So at the end, when you've made a good decision, right, bad, right. And it's a decision making is a skill that's an ongoing process. It takes practice. You got to be self-aware, and you got to be willing to learn from both your successes and your failures. And when you make the right decision, celebrate. Because we need, and that's the part of self-care. I'm always about self-care. But when we make the right decision, learn to celebrate. Because we might like I said, we might not make the right decisions all the time. So learn to celebrate ourselves when we actually make the right decision.
I totally agree. And learn to also celebrate others, and encourage and motivate others to make great choices and decisions. People, believe it or not, people are always watching. They're always watching you. They're watching you in your youth. They'll watch you in your adulthood. A lot of people envy or respect the way you carry yourself. You know, the simple act of deciding supports the notion that we have free will to make decisions. A lot of people in other countries may not have the free will to make
Right.
decisions that we can make here. So that's so important.
Right. It's a part of independence. Decision making, even when your parents start letting you make decisions, that's a part of helping you to be independent. So the decision making, it has its pluses. Like I said, it helps with you becoming independent. You know, it helps with your learning experience because you able to reflect on your past and grow from that. It builds your confidence. So when you make a right decision, you know, you're motivated, you feel good about it. So it builds your confidence. And it also helps you with being able to adaptability, because sometimes we can start off making a decision and then in the midstream change the decision. So decision making has its pluses. It has, you know, you adapt, you learn from it, you grow from it, you know, like I say, you celebrate it. Celebrate the successes, you know, so.
So
Yeah.
what are some choices and decisions are you young people going to make for the weekend, or what do you have planned?
You can go first, Marshawn.
I probably might go to a football game like tomorrow, but I'm actually gonna have practice starting like Saturday and stuff. So I'll probably go to sleep early. Like that's like one of the things that comes like with being like a student athlete. Like I'll be having to like go to sleep real early sometimes. So I have to like tell my friends like, oh, like I can't, and they already like know me. So like they'll be like, oh, that's Marshawn, he got to go to bed, or like other things like I don't party at all. Like I don't smoke or like drink or anything. I don't think I've ever even been to a party, to be honest. But like,
We haven't.
Well, that's
yeah.
good. You got time. You got plenty of time. Trust me, it's not going anywhere.
Absolutely
You
not.
got plenty of time.
In order to be your best self, Marshawn, and a good athlete that you want to be, you have to get rest, right? So you making a decision to get the rest you need so that you can perform and don't let not only yourself down, but not let your teammates down. So that's a great thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So what about you, Zaharia? We want to hear that, and we're gonna close out in a few minutes. My goodness, this time kind of. But go ahead, answer. What are you gonna do? What decision you making to do this weekend, Zaharia?
I think I got choir rehearsal Saturday. Make the decision to go there. Might go a little bit early, just so I can be able to tell my choir director she was late. You know.
What kind of decision is that? It's gonna help her. It's a good decision because it's gonna put on her toes, right? It's gonna put on her toes.
And then I think the only decision that I think I have planned for the weekend, unless I have some split decisions that's coming.
Split decision. Well, Marshawn, I'm gonna be like you. My daughter is a freshman this year at Maryville High School, and so I'm going to take her to her first football game. I believe it's their senior night, so I'm excited to go and support the seniors as well as the Maryville High School football team. So I hope they win.
They're playing Hobart too.
Who do they play?
Hobart. I don't know who they're playing tomorrow. Do you happen to know?
They're playing Hobart.
Okay, they're playing Hobart. Oh, okay. So we're going to have a purple and white and a purple and yellow. So let's see who's going to kick off this school year with a great game. I know Maryville won against Andrian a week ago, I believe. And so let's see if they'll win again. Keep this winning streak going.
So you all are making the decisions that you're making are great. Because they will yield some positive outcomes. So the ones that you're making, Alan and Marshawn and Zaharia, all those will yield positive outcomes. Even the ones, Zaharia, so you can tell your choir director she's late. It's going to yield positive because it's going to put her on her toes, never to get there on time. It's going to work, and that's what we want to do. You know, because we can express decision making in so many ways. You know, even our body language, you know, can tell people about, you know, our facial expression, gestures, what decision we're making. You know, because I could be like, forget that. So you can look at my body face and expression already tell that what decision I'm going to make. You know, so there's a lot of things that we can reflect on about decision making and making the right choices and making the right decision. But guess what? We're going to have to come back with this topic another time.
We can, but I want to leave them with this, Miss Cheryl. One of my favorite poets, Robert Frost, has a poem that talks about decision making, which is called "The Road Not Taken." I want the audience to look that poem up. It talks about two roads. Which road are you going to travel with? Are you going to travel the road with bumps or the road with less bumps? But I want people to remember, no matter what road you choose in life, you're going to have some bumps and bruises. It's all in fact on how you're going to reflect and come out of it. So with that, we all going to make good decisions and good choices.
Yeah, and you make that decision to come out of it on top. It's a mindset. You change your mindset and make that decision to come out that you're going to be all right. That's another form of decision making in a positive way with positive outcomes, and it have long-term residuals.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that point, and you all look it up if you get a chance. But I want to thank you all for Ellen for co-hosting. Zaharia and Rashawn, I thank you all for being my guests. You all were fabulous. And we don't want this to be the last. We want you to come back again and again as we discuss some Verve words for youth that we can chill out on, find about and stuff, all of that. But I'm going to go and I guess I'm going to find me something to eat and stuff like that. And I'm going to go outside because I want to get a little bit of the heat in. I hope it's calmed down a little bit out there.
I'm going to let you make that decision.
Yeah, that's another decision. Exactly. So thank you all for joining us. I want to thank our audience. Thank you all. We look forward to you in 2 more weeks on Thursday at 7:00 for another Verve Word for Youth. Thank you.
All right.